This exhibition started with our committee looking at this year being the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Many historians consider it the most significant day of the 20th century. When we got into it, we thought, well, World War II veterans are really passing on at an increasingly rapid rate. So we just decided we would do an exhibit honoring World War II veterans. Two people who were here at our opening ceremony, Charlie Ewing. Charlie was a pilot in the Navy, talks about the early landing on aircraft carriers. Catherine Payne, Catherine Whitby was her maiden name. She's a 1942 graduate of the nursing school at Memorial Hospital. She and two of her classmates went off to Dover, enlisted. She ended up being in a MASH unit and followed the front lines all the way across Europe. She lent us her combat fatigues, and her combat fatigues, you can still see blood stains in her. She was a surgical nurse. So she was here with a couple of her sons. She still lives just outside of Easton. And Lawrence Claggett, Benny Claggett, dropped out of Johns Hopkins, enlisted, became a B-17 pilot, flew 30-some missions over Germany, was wounded once, received 6 medals for valor, came home, got his dental degree, and followed his father in the dentistry business here in Easton. These were all young people, 18, 19, 20 years old. It was just, it was really unbelievable.
And I don't know if many people know unless they were on farms or whatever, had family on farms, but all throughout the county there were multiples. I think there were 13 stations, and you can see all around the county where these places were, and they were on farms, and they manned these stations 24 hours a day. Farmers took 8-hour sessions, and they were looking for aircraft. And this particular wedding dress was brought to us by a woman in upstate New York who heard through her cousin that we were doing this exhibit. And she said that her mother and father had gotten married in Europe when they were both in the service. He was from Bethesda, she was from Easton, and they decided that they were going to get married while they were in the service. And because there was no material, and she obviously hadn't taken a wedding dress with her while she was working for the Red Cross, somebody got the bright idea of using this, and it's all silk. You can see that the parachute was made into a dress. And what's really interesting is that the day of the wedding, they were in Naples. It was bombed, and the groom couldn't find her and wondered if she was okay, and they found each other in a bomb shelter. They got married that night in this church with candlelight. So it was all very romantic. There's actually a picture here of them, and they said the marriage proved as resilient as the parachute silk. It lasted a lifetime.
We want them to get a sense of these young people who volunteered really out of a sense of duty to their country. We want them to get that sense, and we want them to feel something about the sacrifices and accomplishments of what you say is the greatest generation. These people were that.